Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Mortgage Matters in Minutes. Again, I'm your host, Brent Rasmussen, owner of Mortgage Specialists. So today is a very common question that we've been seeing a lot here lately. And we always, as mortgage specialists here, tries to educate on relevant matters, questions that have come up regularly, not something that we've talked about 5 years ago or doesn't happen on a common basis, but this one is happening. And the question really comes up is through the process, can I purchase a home in bad condition with a conventional loan? And so we phrase this a couple different ways. And most people think with a conventional loan, you can purchase any kind of property and that they don't have a right to ask for any repairs to be done. And generally speaking, we've talked a lot about repairs when it comes to FHA and VA loans, but we haven't spoke a lot in regards to conventional loans. But this has been a current problem that we're seeing with appraisals and underwriting. So where do this issue come up, or where does this issue come up? I think what happens is when people are looking at properties, the previous agent will mark in the MLS, the multiple listing service, where houses are advertised for sale among realtor to realtor, they'll put types of financing available. And this is just types of financing available that the seller is open to accepting. It doesn't mean that they meet conventional FHA, VA, whatever they put in there. It's just in their interest, the seller will accept those kinds of financing. So where the issue truly comes up is first, the appraiser goes out to the property and says, oh, here's an appraisal back. Here's the things that we need fixed that are safety and soundness issues. Or an underwriter is going to receive an appraisal or receive pictures or receive something that shows something bad. And again, even on a conventional loan, you cannot purchase a home that's in really bad condition. What's bad? It depends on the situation. But really what the conventional underwriting guidelines state about appraisals is anything that affects safety and soundness of the property can be deemed, non-lendable or deemed to be fixed prior to closing. So if anything comes up throughout the process that an underwriter, an appraiser deems as safety and soundness issues, those things would need to be fixed prior to closing. I've seen a couple properties here recently where there's exposed siding, holes in the wall, holes in the soffit. And again, people would say, well, that doesn't really affect the foundation or that doesn't affect the safety of the property. Well, it definitely can. If water or snow gets into the property, water is a deterrent to the property and it can cause a lot of damage. So when we're sealing the outside of the property and when raised concretes and cracked concretes come up, it's not about how many cracks there are. It's really about how big is the problem looking at, and is it going to continue or is it stopped and under control? That's what the lending world generally wants to know, is that if the house is just sitting in the normal condition that it's in, is the weather going to cause any damage to it? So still on conventional loans, things that could come up are a roof or a foundation, certain things that standing water or mold. Water obviously is one of the biggest things that can destroy a property, with mold, with cracks, foundations, all the above. So to answer the question right out of the gate, if the house is in whatever is bad condition, we get this question often where people say they want a fixer-upper or a flip, or they are able to do the work after closing. And we'll say that's great, but unfortunately, since the lender is giving out the money, they decide what the rules are. And they found that many clients don't have the money or don't fix the problem after closing, so now they're requiring it before. So what is it if you want to buy a fixer-upper? Contact your lender, show them pictures, and in their professional opinion, they're going to state, hey, we've seen this before, or no, we haven't, and we feel what's what. The final person that has the final say is the underwriter. And while we can call one underwriter and call a different underwriter, it depends on what underwriter you get that day and what they have going on, whether they'll actually call for something to be fixed or not. Generally speaking, the appraisers bring it up, but if they don't, the underwriter still can say this needs to be fixed one way or the other. So how do we know if an appraisal does pass underwriting standards? Well, once we get a copy of the appraisal, we do send it off to underwriting. And again, underwriters have the say. They review the appraisal, they review the comps, they review the pictures. And if they see anything negative in there, they have a right to ask for clarification or a certified person to go out and inspect whatever it is that's going on, whether it's plumbing, heat, electricity, roofing, foundation. The underwriter is the one that then states, we need a professional to go in there, tell us what's going on, And then if there is anything that needs to be addressed or fixed, that they must do it. So what happens if you get through the process and all of a sudden you find yourself in the situation of a property is in such bad condition that it's not going to be lendable per normal Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac conventional loans? Well, there are commercial loans out there, there's construction lenders out there, and sometimes those lenders will make an exception on the property based upon your credit, income, and asset situation. But those loans aren't going to be a normal long-term 30-year fixed interest rate. They might only be an adjustable rate or an interest only or something like that, which is fine for the short run. Really, the goal obviously is to gain the property, fix up the items, and then the value will increase significantly. So I think I've seen this happen a lot, over 5 times in the last month, of either different transactions contacting me, or we've seen it happen where we weren't aware of a condition of a property before the appraiser went out, and they are citing that repairs are needed to be done by the appraiser or underwriting. So the summary of the answer is, if you're a realtor or if you're a real estate agent or a borrower, just because you're taking out a conventional loan doesn't mean you're not going to have repairs. And you as seller also now, just because you're accepting an offer with someone with a conventional loan does not mean that there's never going to be a repair situation that comes up. Is conventional much more lenient than FHA? It sure is. Where FHA is specifically taught, the appraisers are specifically told to look for very specific things. And most, if not all, FHA appraisers are licensed per conventional. So the appraisers right now are doing what we call CYA, cover themselves, because they don't want lawsuits going on them. They don't want lawsuits going on our borrowers. We don't want lawsuits going anywhere just because of a condition of a property. So if you're looking at a property and you have questions, contact us. We'll be able to help answer those questions for you as best we can. Obviously, we're not a home inspector. We're not an underwriter. But we do see this stuff regularly, and we can say, hey, that looks like it could affect the safety and soundness of the property. And, you'd want to address it hopefully before you put the house up for sale. But I know there are those distressed sales, those as-is sales, and we used to see this happen a lot with foreclosures, but now we don't have a lot of foreclosures, so the question doesn't come up as much. But the answer still is, if the house is in what's called bad shape, which is safety and soundness issues, then conventional loans generally won't accept that type of property. So I hope you gained a little bit of education and knowledge here today. We'd love to help answer any questions. You can phone call us at 402-991-5153. Again, if you're on YouTube here, you can like and subscribe us to get weekly updates about different things that are happening in the lending environment and real estate world that will affect you and your stress level in buying a home. Or you can check us out on our website at mtg-specialist.com to check out any of our blogs or contact with us, or even fill out an application and begin to start getting pre-approved. We hope you have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you here next week. Thanks. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.